What's up, everybody? Welcome into the Philly Sports Power Hour with Bill Colarulo. It's Howie season. It is officially Howie season. And if we had any doubts that this is when Howie cooks, then you just don't know Howie. And I said it yesterday on this show, if you were here yesterday, talking about all these people who were worried about the amount of money that they paid Saquon Barkley. And I said, the one thing not to worry about with Howie Roseman is the money. You can question Howie Roseman when it comes to drafting, when it comes to player personnel as far as talent evaluation. But the one thing you cannot question Howie Roseman on is the money. And now, the contract details of Saquon Barkley's contract have been released. And like I told you yesterday, all of you who were worried about it, don't doubt him. Don't doubt Howie Roseman when it comes to contracts. Making a fool of yourself doubting Howie Roseman when it comes to contracts. So we'll talk about the Saquon Barkley deal in a second. But other big news breaks last night. As expected, a reunion between the Philadelphia Eagles and Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. Something we've been hearing for a while. I like this move, but I don't want them to be finished. If you follow me or this show, you know I was in support of them bringing back CJGJ. But I said it the moment it was reported that there were talks that they were going to reunite. I need more than just CJGJ at safety. I need something else. They can't be done. Now, what I like about Chauncey Gardner-Johnson is his versatility. We saw it when he was here in 2022. Not only does he have the ability to play the safety position, he can come down and play that nickel corner position. And it doesn't look like Avonte Maddox is going to be back. So that's a good move for the Philadelphia Eagles. But I want to talk about what else I need at that position. And we still have one glaring hole on that defensive side of the football, which we'll talk about. We're going to be joined later on in the show, like we are every Wednesday, by Kayla Santiago. So Kayla will be joining the show. We usually do a lot of Sixers talk with Kayla. I'm done with the damn Sixers. So we'll do a lot of Eagles talk with Kayla today. May just ask her very quickly what the hell's going on with our 76ers. But we're going to get it into it all. Big win for the Fly Guys last night. Big win. Every point they pick up from here on out is one step closer to playoff hockey in South Philly. You know I can't wait for that. But let's get a little roll call in the chat. We are streaming live across the JAKIB Sports Network. We are live on the Bill Colarulo Philly Sports Talk networks. We're live on X, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook. We're everywhere, baby. So let's get a little roll call. Big Bill's checking in the chat. Wine Niners Wine, my man. Appreciate you checking out 97.5 yesterday. I'll be back on the Fanatic tonight, 6 to 10. We're doing an Eagles special tonight, 6 to 10 on the Fanatic if you want to check that out. David Laprati, 11-17. Chuck Hutton, Flexin and Steppin. I'm glad Flexin's in the house because you were all upset yesterday, Flexin, about the contract they gave Saquon Barkley. So we're going to look at the details now. And I told you yesterday, Flexin, you know you're my man, but I told you to stop questioning Howie Roseman. Fran Iardi in the house. Ryan, Kyle Kokorski, Daz, Kings fan, Andrew Deck, Niners all damn day checking in. We got a Niners fan, a Niners troll in the chat. Drew Nichols, a lot of people checking in. MC, if I missed you, I apologize, but I appreciate you being here. A lot of action going on in the chat right now. I see a lot of people checking in on TikTok as well. So let's jump in because Kayla's going to be joining the show in about 10 minutes. So I want to talk about some things here. So we'll get to Chauncey Gardner-Johnson in a second. Big move for the Philadelphia Eagles. But we did get the details on the Saquon Barkley contract. So everybody sees the numbers, and this is what I always say. This is what I always preach. It's not about the total number. It's never about the total number. It's about what the cap hits are. We talk about this with Jalen Hurts' contract all the time. $255 million. Everybody loses their mind. Oh, they can't do anything because of Hurts' contract. And I keep telling you, look at the cap hits. Because Jalen Hurts only $13.5 million this year. $22 million next year. $32 million the year after that. So that contract was structured in a way that it doesn't handcuff you. And this deal they gave Saquon Barkley looks a lot better now that we know the details. So although it's a 3-year, $37.75 million deal, in essence, it's a 2-year, $26 million deal with a team option for that third year. Because the Eagles can get out from under this contract after 2 years if it turns out that Saquon Barkley's not the answer, if he can't stay healthy, which a lot of people are concerned about. But his cap hit for 2024 is only $3.9 million. Typical Howie Roseman contract, they backload it. They backload the contract so that the cap hits are in the end of the deal. So you look at it, $3.9 million in 24, $13.5 million cap hit in 25. And then in 2026, if the Eagles decide to keep him, because they can get out from this contract after 2 years, it would be a $15.5 million cap hit. But if they were to cut Saquon, let's say they moved on from him after 2 years, which I don't see happening, but let's say they moved on from him after 2 years, they could actually do a post-June 1st designation if they cut him, and their dead cap would only be $8.6 million. And you could spread that out over 2 years. So it would be 3.8 in 26, 4.6 in 27. This is a great deal. That's why I told you, don't worry about Howie. If you like the player and you like that player's on the Philadelphia Eagles, stop worrying about the money. Me and all of you don't know a fraction about the cap the way Howie Roseman knows the cap. And I've said it before, we can question Howie Roseman when it comes to talent evaluation, especially in the draft. He's missed a lot in the draft. But if you like the player, if you like the player on this team, don't worry about how much they paid him. Because Howie knows what he's doing. That's the one thing we all can agree on. He knows what he's doing when it comes to money. So listen to this. I just tweeted this out. You may have seen it because it's blowing up for some reason. It's blowing up. I know, not for some reason, because it's so crazy. Jalen Hurts, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, and Saquon Barkley, all 4 of those stars on the Philadelphia Eagles offense, carry a cap hit in 2024 of $36.2 million. Dak Prescott, by himself, has a cap hit of $59.4 million. Daniel Jones, by himself, has a cap hit of $47 million. The Philadelphia Eagles and Howie Roseman have Jalen Hurts, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, and Saquon Barkley for $36 million cap number. Here we go. Xander's putting it up. This is the tweet. And Dak Prescott, 59.4, Daniel Jones, $47 million. This is Howie season, man. Howie Roseman is a cheat code for the Philadelphia Eagles in the NFL. Unbelievable, man. And I could probably, I don't have the numbers in front of me, we could probably even add Dallas Goedert into the mix there. Kenny Gainwell, who's the backup running back. They still wouldn't get to Dak Prescott and Daniel Jones' number. So pretty incredible stuff from Howie. And more good stuff. Bringing in Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, 3 years, $33 million. And I knew we were going to get this in the chat. Slagger 57. That's just this year. I've told you. Look at Jalen Hurts' cap hits, man. Everybody keeps thinking, oh, well, next year the caps jump. Jalen Hurts' cap hit won't reach where Dak Prescott is ever It doesn't go up to $54 million until 2028. He won't reach Daniel Jones' number until 2028. And the cap keeps going up, 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 up. So it doesn't matter. That's what you got to look at. Joe Banner, we all remember Joe Banner. Joe Banner tweeted out yesterday in response to the Saquon Barkley signing that with the cap where it is, $12 million for any starter is a steal right now. Because the cap went up $30 million. It's probably going to go up another $30 million next year. So the Eagles are in a great spot financially. But they can't be done. They can't be finished in how they build this team. I like the move so far. Edge rusher Bryce Huff. They brought in linebacker Zach Bond. We talked a little bit about that yesterday. 27 years old. Doesn't play a lot. Probably a special teamer. A rotational piece on that defense. But now they add Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. And Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, what I like about this move is, yes, he's got that swagger to him. He's got that dog mentality that we've talked about before. You need that on the defensive side of the football. Look at what happened with the San Francisco 49ers. Deebo Samuel talking all that trash all year. He comes into Lincoln Financial Field. Not a single person on that defense did a damn thing last year. When the 49ers played the Lions, at least Chauncey Gardner-Johnson tried to do something. At least he gave him a little bump after the whistle one time. So that's what CJGJ brings to this defense, but he also brings that versatility. He can not only play safety, you can move him down to the line of scrimmage. He can play the nickel. So I'm excited to see what Vic Fangio is going to do with a guy like Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. So now you did two things that were good. You brought in an edge rusher in Bryce Huff. I know some people are worried because he's not a run stopper, but this guy is one of the best pass rushers in the NFL. That is a skill not to overlook. Those out there who just want to be negative, sure, let's look at, he can't stop the run. He's one of the best pass rushers in the NFL. You don't find that everywhere. Only two players in the league last year had a better win rate than Bryce Huff when it came to pass rush, and their names were Micah Parsons and Myles Garrett. So that was a great move. He's still only 25 years old. So I like those two moves, bringing in Chauncey, bringing in Bryce Huff. But if you follow this show, if you follow me, you know going into free agency, I said I needed Chauncey Gardner-Johnson and somebody else. So I don't want them to be done at the safety position because right now your starting safeties are Reed Blankenship and Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. I can't trust Reed Blankenship yet. We need some more depth back there anyway. So I want to see them go out and get somebody else. Cameron Curl is still a name that's out there, only 24 years old, played for the Washington Commanders last year. I know a lot of people are throwing out the name Justin Simmons because of his relationship with Vic Fangio. I'm not going to be angry at that move, but at the same time, I'm kind of done with the 30-year-old safeties. Justin Simmons is 30 years old. I'd rather see them go young. I'd rather see them go and get a Cameron Curl from Washington who's 24. And now you sign him to a 3 or 4 year deal. We got Chauncey Gardner-Johnson and Cameron Curl for the next 3 years. Our safety position's fine. And you still have Reed Blankenship, and you have Sidney Brown, hopefully coming back from his ACL at some point next year. Now I feel a lot better about that safety position. You know, I'm not as worried about the cornerbacks because I think Isaiah Rodgers was, in essence, our free agent signing at corner this year. They signed him last year, but he was suspended all year. Wait until you see what Isaiah Rodgers does on the outside. So I like that move a lot last year. So that's essentially your free agent signing at corner. So now you have Keely Ringo, who I'm expecting big things in year 2. Isaiah Rodgers. You still have Darius Slay. Eli Ricks battles. You got Zach McPherson, who's another name coming back. Blew out his Achilles in training camp last year. The Eagles were high on him last year. So I like the secondary the way it's shaping up. I just need one more piece. Give me one more, Howie. Give me another safety. And then I'm feeling good about the secondary. But we still need that linebacker. We still need the linebacker. We don't have one yet. And they're coming off the board. I know some people wanted Patrick Queen. I was one of those people. I really wanted Patrick Queen. He goes to the Pittsburgh Steelers. My understanding is the Eagles did look into him, but they didn't want to pay him that much money. And I don't think it had anything to do with what they're paying Saquon Barkley. I know some people, they should have signed Queen instead of Barkley. I don't think that had anything to do with it. They still have a ton of cap space. But who would they go get? I still would like to see them go younger in free agency at linebacker too, but players are coming off the board now. So I don't know if you're going to see a move. I talked to you before. Howie Roseman doesn't necessarily make all of his moves right away. Sometimes he waits a little bit. So when we look at linebacker, who's still available? I'm looking at some of my list of people I want. We know Frankie Lavu signed already. Patrick Queen signed already. Is Jordan Brooks still available, or did Jordan Brooks sign somewhere? Because he's young. Seattle got rid of him. Did Jordan Brooks sign anywhere? Because he was a name I was looking at. There's just been so much news I can't keep up, man. Yeah, he signed with the Dolphins. So he's off the board as well. Devin White's a young linebacker who's still available, but he had a real down year last year. So we'll see what they do. But my understanding is Josh Sweat is gone. People I've spoken to have said Josh Sweat will definitely be traded. Hassan Reddick, though, potentially could be back. Hassan Reddick's going and testing the market because he wants to be paid a ton of money, as we know. So, and I got people on Twitter saying, get with the times. Dude, with all the freaking news that's coming out of here. So I didn't know one player had signed. There's been news all day, and I was on the radio all day yesterday. So just relax, brother. Relax. But when we get back, we're going to be joined by the one and only Kayla Santiago. Want to talk to her. A lot of Eagles today because I know everybody's over the Sixers. And Tobias Harris had a great night last night. In 26 minutes, 2 points, 3 rebounds, 1 assist. Tobias. Anyway, when we get back, we'll do some more Eagles talk with the one and only Kayla Santiago. This is the Philly Sports Power Hour. I'm Bill Colarulo. Hit that like button, hit that share button. We'll be right back.